Thanks for watching D2 Wrenchworks and DIY, guys. Today's video, we go back to the Schwinn. We have part 2 now. If you haven't seen part 1, please do go back and check that out. As you can see, it looks a lot different now. It looks awesome. We made a whole lot of changes. This whole bike was basically stripped down. The only thing I really left on was the brakes, because those are actually still in great condition. This is just as I mentioned in part 1, like mid-low area of Shimano from back in the day, you know, from like 1995 when this is made. This is like Altus or Livio brakes, I can't remember. We had a Altus or Livio rear derailleur, and it had a flat bar setup, this big honkin' bar, like stamped steel, with some very old school grip shifts on here, the original ones actually. Those were in such bad shape though, and we had the opportunity with this already having Cyclocross tires on it and 700C wheels, nice ones at that. I decided, you know what, we're gonna take this abandoned bike and make it into something way more utility, way cooler, you know, something people want to ride. And so first thing I did was put some drop bars on here, as you can see. It came out pretty cool. And this is an idea that I got from actually Zoran, the grip shift company. They originally made drop bar grip shifts to begin with. That's exactly what they were. They were never intended for mountain bike use or flat bars. This is how they were mounted, just like this, right to the end, and they had a little piece like that to like help you keep your grip. It's up here far enough to, I mean, I have really big hands, so it's up big enough that you could easily hold on a little bit here and twist if you're in the drops and hitting, like, you know, downhill or something, hitting a bumpy road. You don't have to worry about falling or slipping off or any of that. It grips just as much as the handle brakes do, or the brake lever handles do, right up here. So it came out surprisingly nice. One thing I do warn you, these come in 6-speed, 7-speed, 8-speed, 9-speed, these grip shifts. So make sure, these ones, I did not know this when I bought them. I always just buy cheap stuff and keep it around if it's really on sale. These are actually SRAM only. So weirdly enough, the original ones were Shimano compatible. This one, SRAM only. These are SRAM 3.0 comps. Comp only means that the shift cable comes inside of it, but the 3.0 is actually only SRAM brand. It has to have the 1-to-1 actuation ratio. You'll notice what it looks like right here on the bottom of the derailleur cage. All of the SRAM derailleurs say that. So what we have here is the X5 I upgraded it with. The brand new shifters, it shifts awesome. One of the tips, by the way, I did upgrade the cassette back here. It is now a 1230 tooth. It came with a 1128. So, you know, having the triple, if you're in your smallest, you want to have a nice climbing gear. Something like this, you know, it's not the lightest bike, it's like mid 20 pounds, something like that, maybe around like 27, 26, somewhere in that range. Having that big 30 tooth makes a huge difference. So the thing that I did though, that's what I was going to mention, if you're going to build this bike, for sure, you know, you don't have the time to upgrade the speeds or anything like that. As mentioned in part 1, this is only going to fit a 7-speed cassette on this hub. That's just how they made these for this time. I guess they didn't see all the speeds coming out in the future. So you can take, however, an 8-speed, and these are so cheap. It's much cheaper than the 7-speed cassettes because they're not as plentiful. The 7 speeds aren't. You just take one ring off. So this is actually an 1130 tooth 8-speed cassette, and I just toss that one off, and your 12 still has a nice lock ring grip. So you could just thread it right on and only have 7 speeds. The spacing between all of them is identical between 7 and 8 speeds. So it's, like I said, it shifts great. Great way to get a budget 7-speed cassette and have some awesome shifting, because the X5 is actually a really pretty good mountain bike derailleur. So something that's going to be durable, shifts great under a load. I've always been pretty impressed with it. I've ran it on some budget cyclocross bikes I've built before. Good buy, something to look out for. As I mentioned, this bike has this really cool Gervin flex stem. As you can see, it takes a lot of the harshness out of the road while you're bumping. Again, I mentioned that in part 1. But I thought the coolest thing here was how, you know, now it's going to be a little bit more comfortable over cyclocross bikes, since now we have the drop bars and you have more hand positions. I also introduced some Shimano 105 brake levers up here. And these are like off of just a, you know, older vintage frame shifter bike. Came out great. I did refurbish it with some new Cane Creek hoods on here. And these are also in brown to match like the whole theme of the bike. Give it that like little vintage swag, you know. I think it came out pretty awesome. Got a nice budget saddle up there that also matches it in brown, along with like the pleather bar tape. It's not real leather, but it looks like it and kind of feels like it. Good enough on a budget. And it came out pretty awesome. The brakes got new brake pads. They were pretty atrocious and cracked up. It stops nice and strong. I was very happy with that. And you know, it's very easy to just pop these open, and now you can just pop your tire out if you're going anywhere. So one of the other big bonuses if you get a bike like this with the cantilever brakes, it's like pretty much made to be touring, gravel, cyclocross, commuter, you name it. Do it all. It could do all of them. It does have a bike rack stand up here and down here, along with next to these holes, it has provisions for fenders. So you can run a rear rack and you can run fenders all in the same area. It has 700 by 35C tires. I wouldn't worry about clearancing any of that. There's still tons of room. I'd imagine you could probably fit, as you can see up here, like 700 by 40C easily, and those are some steamrollers. So 35 is pretty good as it is though, so I left that as it was. I did put some, if you are dealing with this bike and it is something that's been sitting, please do take a time for yourself, pop the tires off, the tubes are actually still good on this, so because to show you, tubes are pretty good, man. They last a long time, as long as you don't, you know, ride them around flat. So this bike just sat, and but as I was getting to, the bad thing is the rim strips. These are single wall rims, so the spoke heads and the nipple heads right there, they're going to be touching basically the tube with just a tiny little piece of rubber over it. I put some vinyl ones in here. These are going to be longer lasting. If you do run the higher pressures, they're going to make sure that it lasts a longer time, and you won't have to worry about being stuck out in the wilderness or wherever you are, you know, adventuring. You don't want to worry about having to get a flat. As I mentioned, by the way, the whole bike rack situation, this is just a seat post one. It's a cheap one. It's what came with a different bike I got, and actually it came with the Cannondale Super V that I did a series on. So it's just on there just to, you know, for utility. As I mentioned, if this was something, this is a little too big for me, but this is my bike, I would pop that off and put an actual rear one on there. It's lighter aluminum too. One cool thing about this Schwinn, and this is like I mentioned in part one, you're not going to find this in other bikes. These really nice Shimano hubs with, what are they, Parallax, Altus Parallax wheels. I mean, you know, for 1995, super true, spins forever. Pretty quiet free hub, it's not obnoxious. So that's something cool too about the bike. Overall, I was really pleased. It already had the toe clips on it as like, you know, as a total commuter kind of bike. I did put straps in there to give it the ability to pull up, you know, simulate the clip-in shoes while you could still wear tennis shoes. You can go to class and not having to worry about wearing silly bike shoes with cleats. We got the new seat post in there, and that's pretty much it. The bike came out great. I'm really pleased with it. I hope to do another project like this soon. I really like these project bikes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gives you a really good idea on what to do with other types of bikes like this. Hope you guys enjoyed the pictures. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe and like if you like this video and you want to see more content like this, and I'll be happy to do it for you. Thanks, bye.